This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's newsletter, Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter for December 1, 2022. In this Volume 26, Issue 23, the December 1, 2022 issue contains articles and reports of insurance fraud convictions for every insurance claims professional, SIU investigators, and everyone interested in the efforts to defeat or deter insurance fraud. The December 1, 2022 issue includes an article entitled "It Doesn't Pay to Try to Cheat Your Insurance Company," where Sigismondi Foreign Car Specialists appealed District Court's summary judgment in favor of State Auto Property and Casualty Insurance Company on State Auto's declaratory judgment action and statutory insurance fraud claim. In State Auto Property and Casualty v. Sigismondi, the United States Court of Appeal for the Third Circuit on November 18, 2022, dealt with allegations of the insurer that Sigismondi attempted fraud. You can read the full article at the link on this blog posting. The next article dealt with a new California law that means new obligations for insurance agents and brokers. California Governor Gavin Newsom signed into law Senate Bill 1242, written by the Senate Insurance Committee, that was aimed at protecting California consumers by imposing a variety of requirements upon producers. The omnibus bill is essentially a kitchen sink of unrelated topics covered under a single piece of legislation. It takes effect on January 1, 2023, and addresses, among other things, insurance fraud reporting and education mandates, fingerprinting, and licensing disclosures. At the start of the year, agents and brokers will be required to report fraud to the California Department of Insurance. More specifically, SB 1242 amends the California Insurance Code to require producers who suspect or know a fraudulent application for insurance is being made to submit to the DOI Fraud Division via the Electronic Consumer Fraud Reporting Portal information regarding the factual circumstances of a dubious application and the alleged misrepresentation it occurs and contains. The full article is worthy of your reading, especially if you have duties with regard to insurance agents and brokers. You can read the full article at the link. The next article is entitled "Crime Doesn't Pay. It Leads to Bankruptcy," where North Carolina's Wake County Superior Court judge ordered the liquidation of two life insurance companies in rehabilitation operated under billionaire insurance and finance executive Greg Lindbergh. The judge approved the order to liquidate Colorado Bankers Life Insurance Company and Bankers Life Insurance Company, which have been in rehabilitation since 2019. The companies were put into rehabilitation after questions arose about Lindbergh's alleged use of reserve funds to support other businesses he operated. The next article is entitled "Good News from the Coalition Against Insurance Fraud" and deals with a listing of various convictions for insurance fraud, including one where a pain doctor stuck patients with unneeded injections for knees and other body parts in a $240 million scheme in San Antonio, Texas. Dr. Jorge Zamora Quezada falsely diagnosed patients with degenerative diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis. He gave them batteries of injections, invasive chemo, and other toxic treatments they didn't need. He earned a trip to the Coalition's Insurance Fraud Hall of Shame in 2020 and finally is scheduled for federal sentencing. on May 18. Zamora Quezada kicked patients out of his office if they questioned his treatments and hid their records from docs the patients next saw. He also laundered the insurance money, and he bought a private jet, owned luxury properties in Aspen and other jet locales, and bought a fleet of luxury cars. And Zamora Quezada gave patients knee-buckling doses of chemo and other toxic treatments they didn't need, all to keep insurance money flowing. Many patients, one age just 13, suffered serious physical and emotional damage from the chemo injections and sometimes hours-long intravenous infusions. Zamora Quezada falsely diagnosed one man with rheumatoid arthritis, and the patient later developed burns on his skin, lost both finger and toenails, and later began losing his skin from the toxic medications. His health problems continued until his death. You can read the full article about multiple fraud convictions at the link for Zalma's insurance fraud letter, December 1, 2022. The next article is about the examination under oath, and that it is not a replacement for the insurance claims professional. An attorney is not an insurance adjuster. The attorney representing an insurer at an EUO is not a super adjuster. The attorney is a lawyer who was retained to provide legal advice and counsel after assisting the insurer in gathering facts at an EUO. Competent outside adjustment services can obtain for a great deal less per hour than any attorney the same facts and circumstances. The EUO should complement and be part of the thorough investigation of the insurance claims professional. It should provide the information that the insurance claims professional is unable to obtain because of the recalcitrance of the insured, because of a lack of records, or because complex legal and factual issues have made resolution of the claim on an adjusting level impossible. You can read the full article at the link to the December 1 issue. Next are health insurance fraud convictions, where multiple convictions of health insurance fraud have been reported. The leading one being the fact that a Florida birth-related neurological injury compensation plan and association was ordered to pay $51 million to resolve False Claims Act allegations. The Florida Compensation Plan and its administrator, the Florida Birth-Related Neurological Injury Compensation Association, have agreed to pay $51 million to resolve allegations that they have violated the False Claims Act by causing participants to submit their health care claims to Medicaid rather than to the NICA in violation of Medicaid's status as the payer of last resort under federal law. The civil settlement resolved a lawsuit filed and pursued by Veronica N. Arvin and the estate of Theodore Arvin III against them under the QI-TAM or whistleblower provisions of the False Claims Act, which permit a private party known as a relator to file a lawsuit on behalf of the United States and receive a portion of any recovery. Although the United States did not intervene in this case, it continued to investigate the whistleblower's allegations, provided substantial assistance to the whistleblowers in defending against a motion to dismiss, and negotiated the settlement. The Arvins will receive $12,750,000 as their share of the recovery. You can read the full article at the link. Next is an article called Post-Loss Underwriting is Rare, When an insurer decides to rescind a policy of insurance, it is often accused of post-loss underwriting. Although considered in some states, post-loss underwriting is really an oxymoron. Underwriting is the decision based on information provided by a proposed insured to accept the risk of certain losses needed by the proposed insured. Underwriting, by definition, must be conducted before a policy comes into existence, except in the event where a policy is bound subject to a physical inspection of the property. If the inspection shows the risk to be other than that promised by the insured, the policy will be canceled. Rescission, on the other hand, happens when an insurer learns, after a policy is written, that it was deceived by a material misrepresentation or a concealment of a material fact, or by fraud. You can read the full article at the link to the newsletter. Then there is a listing of other insurance fraud convictions other than health insurance fraud, including a workers' compensation fraudster who was convicted. Francis Davis pleaded guilty to one count of attempting to commit workers' compensation fraud, a fifth-degree felony, and agreed to pay $17,144.79 in restitution, according to the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation. The BWC Special Investigation Department discovered that Davis potentially earned wages while collecting disability benefits from BWC. Davis, a Franklin County, Ohio woman, was ordered to pay the restitution that she defrauded from the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation. It was confirmed that while Davis was collecting benefits, she worked for 7 different employers over the course of 2 years and held positions such as manager, assistant manager, packer, and machine operator. A Franklin County judge found Davis guilty and sentenced her to 5 years of community control and to pay the restitution. You can read that full story and other than health insurance fraud convictions. Finally, we suggest that it's time to subscribe to my Locals community and my Substack publications, because for subscribers only, I have published special insurance videos, including the fact that I published video number 23 of the Excellence in Claims Handling program on specific blanket and reporting coverages, as well as 22 other videos. And I also published on Substack.com video number 9 of the Excellence in Claims Handling program that is available only to subscribers. The subscribers have access to all the videos and a webinar on the examination under oath, a tool available to insurers to thoroughly investigate claims and work to defeat fraud. The videos start with the history of insurance and work their way through various types of insurance and how to obtain and deal with insurance claims. And you can subscribe and receive videos to subscribers of Excellence in Claims Handling at locals.com, Zalma on insurance.locals.com/subscribe, or to substack.com/refer/Barry Zalma. You could read the full article at the ZIFL or Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter for December 1, 2022. Thank you for your attention, and please subscribe to the newsletter so that you won't miss its twice-monthly issue. All provided free to anyone who subscribes. Thank you for your attention, and if you found this video and the newsletter to be of interest to you or your colleagues, please tell them so that they can also subscribe. And please also tell them about the videos on youtube.com and on rumble.com, all of which are easily subscribed to, and there's over 550 insurance videos on rumble.com.